This story is absolutely bonkers. It's left Scottish TikTok in an absolute frenzy. Like, this story, I've not heard something as outrageous as this in a little while. I mean, yeah, we have covered quite a few outrageous things on this channel, but this one is really taking the cake. The summarization, there was this woman called Kira who basically faked a whole entire pregnancy, gave birth, and then faked having a newborn baby for a few days. Turns out it was actually a reborn doll. Okay, I don't know too much on them, but I know they're hyper realistic. She was found out in the most ridiculous way possible, and her previous former really, really good friend decides to come on and tell her side of the story.
She made Jamie take the baby a walk, like up the kelpies and all that. And this doll you could actually feed, and literally like in the same minute it would shit. That's what Jamie said. She never fed the baby when she was at mine.
So I'm going to do a summarization of the best friends video because she released a 10-minute video and then she also released a shorter video as well. Her name is Nave. I think it's Neve or Nave. Mispronounced names all the bloody time. I am terribly sorry. Basically, she came on and she did this reel of her actually being at the gender reveal where you have Kira, who is the mum to the reborn doll.
So, this is Kira at her own gender reveal, and me looking like a fanny at a gender reveal for a doll. But at the time, believing I was being supportive for a friend. Then she also went to a wedding with a fake bump.
And the dad, and they are there popping the gender reveal canon. I mean, this is Kira, who is the culprit in all of this. Here is her when she's, I don't know how many months pregnant she's supposed to be. What, like 7 months pregnant, 6 months pregnant? She's over here with a bump. There are so many videos of her, so many, no one cottoned on. Her really good friend comes on and says that 8 to 9 months ago she was alerted by Kira that she was gonna have a baby. At this time, Kira was being pressured by Jamie, who was the father of this doll, to have an abortion, to not have this baby, because they had only been together for like a month, and he did not want her telling his mum because his mum would flip out. I don't know how young these people are. If I had to take some sort of a guess, I would say like between the ages of 19, 20. So yeah, didn't want to say anything. However, she ended up actually contacting Jamie's mum and telling her like, we're going to be having a baby. And keep this in mind, the whole way through this like pregnancy and the first few days of the baby being born, they like, Kira would go around saying what horrible people Jamie is, what horrible person he is, how horrible the family are, all of this kind of stuff to everyone around her to paint the picture that they were really, really horrible people. 3 to 4 months later, the friend says that they had a gender reveal party. You had two sides of the family there, and apparently loads of money was spent on gifts and things for this new baby. And less than 3 weeks later, Kira comes onto social media to tell everyone that this baby has a heart defect. And I can only imagine the reasoning why she was saying that was to, you know, to prepare everyone for the fact that this doll may not be around. So Kira says on her Facebook page, "It's been a challenging and heartbreaking couple days regarding baby Gardner. Jamie and I have had some time to talk with family and close friends to share some information, and I feel now as everyone's checking in and asking, we shared the news of our beautiful princess. Thankfully to the midwives and sonographers, these last few tests have picked up something that breaks our hearts, grieving that healthy baby we thought we would have, but knowing soon she will still be in our arms. They let us know that baby G has one congenital heart defects. This meaning that she is born with it at birth and will be present, sadly, her adult life." So she then goes on to detail, you know, sadly, this is what's going to be happening. Thoughts and prayers, keep us within you. I reckon she probably would have received donations, maybe, possibly. I don't know if there ever was a GoFundMe, but, you know, receiving, if not receiving, get more gifts or, you know, money from the situation to help with what's going on. Not only that, but I can also imagine that by her putting us out there, she's not only prepping people for what's going to be happening, but she's also going to have more people talking to her, giving her that attention.
Next morning, or that same morning, I wake up at 7:30 and I've got a text message for Kira saying, "Hi, it's Bonnie Lee. I was born at 2:46 a.m. I weigh 5 pound 4 ounce, the exact same weight as my daddy when he was born." And I send her a video and I'm like, "Oh my god, like, congratulations, she's so cute." But I felt so bad because she done it on her own. She sent me a video of her walking out of the hospital.
Now, the 10th of October, right, Kira gives birth to this doll, then sending pictures to her friend of her walking out of the hospital. She's got like all the stuff with her, then posting all of these pictures on social media of her baby. Now, you will take one look at this, and I mean, who would question it's a doll? The thing is that yes, now we know it's a doll. There are some pictures where I'm clearly like, no, that's not a real baby. But then what, in that very spur of the moment, you wouldn't ever suspect that anyone would ever do this. It's just not something that passes through your mind. No sane person does this. So Kira said that the baby was born at the exact same weight that Jamie was, just to add some flavour into this. She then ends up taking the baby to Jamie's house, and Jamie's mum kind of already cottons on and is saying, you know, that it's stone cold, it's a doll, it's not real. So Kira ends up messaging her friend and saying, "Hey, could you please pick me up? I need to get out of this house," etc., etc. But apparently, in the first couple of days, Jamie was literally taking this baby on walks in prams. Kira then says, "Hey, we need to go to a doctor's appointment for the baby." And this whole time, Jamie was never allowed into any of the appointments with her. He would always have to wait outside or wait in the car. But Kira was always seen walking in. But she wasn't actually going to these appointments because it was a doll. So Jamie was used to not going to these appointments, so he never questioned it. When he took her to this appointment, she said, "We need to keep the baby wrapped up and the baby has mucus." Now, baby having mucus is an important thing to note because Jamie was requesting a DNA test because he didn't believe baby was his, or suspecting that something was up. On the third day, the friend then gets a text saying, "I need to get out of this house," being Jamie's house. I can imagine it's because Jamie's mum was starting to suspect that something wasn't quite right, but Jamie maybe perhaps didn't want to believe it. Either way, Kira ended up leaving, was then picked up by her friend, and her friend, they went back to her friend's mum's house. The mum wasn't allowed to touch the baby. No one was ever allowed to touch this baby. This baby was not allowed to be touched, had to be wrapped up, and Kira would always give the excuse of, "No, I don't want to get her out because of course it's cold and they've got mucus and they've already been to the hospital. I don't want her exposed," etc., etc. Even going so far as the friend taking Kira into Morrison's, which is a food shop here, taking her into there so that Kira could see her colleagues, everyone gifting her and seeing the baby, like all of this kind of stuff. And the whole entire time, Kira would not let anyone touch the baby or have really the baby exposed, but nobody wanted to question it because she'd been so true to the bit for this long, even going so far as to showing her friend and her friend's mum these post-pregnancy pants that you have because of all of the bleeding and all of that. No one wanted to question it. However, pretty quickly, by the third or fourth day, Kira's cousin, who has since come on to actually do lives talking about this situation, she's starting to grow a bit suspicious because the baby, Bonnie, had never been introduced to that side of the family. I don't even know if Kira's mum had seen the baby. I that is not made clear to me, but either way, the cousin's saying, like, "I haven't seen the baby, like, what gives?" Apparently they're quite a close-knit family, so it is a little bit confusing why Kira is avoiding seeing them, especially as she has just given birth, and she is constantly bad-mouthing Jamie's side of the family. Well, by the next day, all the pictures have gone. The friend logs on and all the pictures of Bonnie have gone, and Jamie sends her some laughing emojis on Snapchat, and she then gets a message from Kira's cousin, I believe, to tell her that all of this, like, it's a doll. The baby is a doll. And how they found out it was a reborn doll was Kira eventually went round to her mum's house, and her cousin and her mum, or her cousin, not quite clear, walked into the bathroom to find Kira sitting on her phone and the baby just sort of like cast aside, but clearly in view. It's a doll.
I don't know if it was her mum or cousin that walked in on her, and basically the doll was just left and she was on her phone. And everybody found out that it was a doll. And I just don't know how to feel right now. Like, I feel so fucking dumb because I was in Morrison's where I had the doll in my car, I had the doll in my house. Like, she was sitting in my house making bottles up and all that. Like, it's crazy. I just can't believe how much one person can affect somebody. And she has affected me like nobody else has ever affected me this bad. Like, I feel like if somebody has to tell me I'm pregnant, I'm going to just punch it and be like, no, you're not.
Now, what is unbelievably tragic about this whole situation? I mean, this whole situation is tragic. I know I'm explaining the story, but it's just because in a fairly, animated way, but it's because I find this whole topic extremely interesting and mind-boggling how this even happened. You know, it's like a Netflix show. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can imagine this being a Netflix show, kind of crazy. Jamie was informed because Kira messaged him and told him that Bonnie had died. So we've got the text messages. Kira said, something happened to Bonnie Lee, but I need someone here with me to explain things so you can understand. He said, what? She said, Bonnie Lee died, but you need to give me time to tell you everything, etc., and I will, I promise. He said, what the F? She said, please, I know you want answers, but please, Jamie. Jamie said, you've left me in the dark for long enough, I'm coming up. She said, you ain't getting in, so charge on like you won't get in. He said, this isn't fair, selfish. So did he get there and she just point blank refused to let him in? My understanding is that when she went back to her mum, she was going to stage all of this as if the baby had gone. Because you can't keep this up. You cannot keep this up, cannot keep this train running for that long. People are going to cotton on to realise this is a doll. So this was always her plan. I think she was hell-bent on literally going through the whole pregnancy, having the baby, and then a funeral. He never wanted a baby. However, he then ended up, despite him believing, not knowing it was a doll, he ended up stepping up and trying to do something and help Kira and be there for the baby, even though he never wanted the baby. And he then, you know, is then being labelled with the fact that this baby has then died. Can you even imagine how traumatizing that must be to, obviously Jamie, yes, but pretty much everyone that is involved with the situation? I'm not an idiot. I am well aware that for someone to do this, your mental health has got to be severely bad.
And for the people that are going to say, like, I think she needs help. No, she doesn't. She needs jail. She needs, like, something bad to happen to her. Like, the way she has made Jamie and his family feel, the way she has made her own family feel. I've got text messages for her auntie that lives in Wales saying, I sent £500 up because I couldn't make the gender reveal. Like, how do you think she feels? Believing that she was going to be a great auntie. She doesn't need any sort of help. She needs jail.
A psychologist, never claimed to be, not a therapist, none of that kind of stuff. But you don't need a degree to know that this person clearly is suffering and has severe mental health problems. However, these mental health problems that she has have severely impacted a lot of different people, and that cannot be glossed over. And I cannot imagine how traumatizing this is. Now, I did actually find another lady called Jade who, I mean, everyone who's in this situation is talking about it, but there was this girl called Jade that I saw who met Kira on holiday in April in Turkey, and she was actually told by Kira that that she might be pregnant. Her and Jamie have a baby at home, which isn't true. He's like threatening to split up with her, and she is recovering from cancer or something to that effect.
So here we all were in a pool, just going about our day. So kind of after that, she started kind of opening up a wee bit more. She told me that she'd just beat stage 3 cancer and all of this, and that's why she was on the holiday. And she was basically had been through a really hard time, and she just wanted like a fresh start. At this point, she'd told me that she had a daughter at home who was at home with the boyfriend. But turns out that was a lot of shite, and she doesn't actually have a daughter, any kids at all. So like this is what she'd posted, saying that she was over the moon, like, and it had loads of comments on it saying, oh, she's gorgeous and all of this. Now, that post was actually quite believable, but I was still a bit like, 5 weeks early. Now this was the next picture that she posted, and I'm looking at it and I was like, that baby looks dead. Like, and then the more I looked at it, I was like, that's a Reborn doll. Like, just the skin, the texture of the skin, everything. So I'd screenshotted it and sent it to a couple of my pals, because I was like, look at this baby. And they were like, no, surely no, surely no. So there's about me and 5 of my pals now elbow deep in this lassie's Facebook to see what's going on. Then she posted this photo, and that was what topped it for me.
Kira's been building lies upon lies for a little while, but no one would have noticed it, if that makes any sense. No one cottoned on to this cancer story. I have seen being echoed across other people that are in this situation, saying that yes, this is what she told us, etc. So she wasn't just lying about the baby, she was also lying about having cancer. So Kira's cousin is called Tegan. And Tegan comes on, she did a live, but I didn't catch it. I've just caught little snippets of it. But I got some screenshots of some messages that were between Kira and her. Kira's saying, not one person except Jamie was told it passed away. Everyone else found it out to be a doll. She said, everyone had been speaking in the village about it. I think my family started getting suspicious because of my behaviour. I wasn't letting anyone near her, etc. Like, wouldn't let them hold her. Someone contacted my auntie to say people were talking, going to Facebook. So my mum and aunt came into the house and found it out to be a doll. People were starting to cotton on to the fact that it was just a little bit sneaky suspicious that Kira, the way that she was being with her baby. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people that don't want anyone that isn't immediate family to be touching their baby, but this like goes beyond it. This is like beyond. People were then talking and being like, and you know, after you see the pictures, and now we know, it's like, yeah, that's a doll. I mean, I am incredibly perplexed that people were, driving this baby around, or this doll, driving the doll around, taking them for walks, and like Jamie was apparently taking this doll for walks and was obviously very clear on the instruction not to let the doll out of the pram, because he obviously didn't, otherwise he would have picked it up and realised. This whole thing, she was fully prepared to go to the bitter end. I don't want to get into analysing her or anything, because I'm not the person to do that. But would this just be her way of keeping Jamie close to her, and of garnering a lot of attention that she doesn't feel like she has with a lot of people? Because in her mind, if she has this experience with Jamie where they had a baby and the baby died, then they're gonna be attached in one way or another, and she'll then feel like he'll never leave her, something like that. Maybe that could be possible. Could she just be doing it to gain attention, therefore gain sympathy and eyes from everyone around her? Very possible. Could she just be a raging lunatic? Very possible.
I just can't believe it, and I already feel like such a fool, for no realising that a real life doll, she must have paid close to £1,000 for it. So no, you couldn't really tell. You couldn't tell at all. And she wouldn't let you so close. It would be you need to look at the car seat for there. The closest I got to her was when she opened the door, and I just looked in and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. And I wish I had realised. I really wish I had. But if I had realised when she was in my house, then I don't know what would have happened. I would have probably went crazy. So I'm glad I kind of never found out that when she was in my house, because I don't know what would have happened.
But yeah, anyway, that mad, absolutely mad. As far as I'm aware, I have seen some posts, but I'm not quite sure if they're from Kira or not. So I'm hesitant to read them because a lot of people are posting screenshots of things that she's allegedly saying. So if I come back and I do another video on this topic, I will include them if I find out they are actually from her, if anything else happens. That is all I had to say today. What do you guys think of this situation? I think it was absolutely bamboozling. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.